A fabulous Friday to all of you lovely listeners out there, and welcome to a very special installment of Disinformed After Dark when it's particularly light outside. I'm Shane, and you will notice that I am going solo for the first time because we didn't want to let Disinformed After Dark just die on the vine here. We're trying to keep content rolling out, and it's very important to serve the algorithm, as Michael would have us know. So, what I am here to do is to give you a little teaser and something that I hope is going to be fun because we are prepping for our next fabulous fan fiction that's going to be winging your way. And so, I want to give you something that I feel like is an interesting bit of information and also a very fun tease for the topic that is upcoming. But in case you are blissfully unaware, I am a co host with three other lovely individuals of a very popular podcast that flees your preferred provider app every Monday morning, the Disinformed podcast. We will delve into random esoteric topics and we lie about them, which is pretty entertaining, hopefully. But we've taken to doing fan fiction from time to time, and of course, then this other component, which is usually kind of a decompression from the episode, or now casual discussion about things that we love or teases for upcoming programming. And so I'm going to give you a little soupçon, if you will, of what we have coming with a bit of the share screen function, which is just, technology. For the, Cro-Magnon man flashed forward into the future like myself, this is very intimidating. But you will see that I am showing you a very bizarre screen here, but we are going to talk about how to avoid huge ships, and it's very important. And so, in light of previous sort of installments here, where we have delved into random Amazon reviews that Michael wanted me to look at, I stumbled across this one, and as I said, this is apropos of the fan fiction that will be soon winging its way to all of you, and so we can look back on this and laugh heartily. But some of these reviews for this particular book are chef's kiss for Michael. So I'm going to run you through a few of these just to make things interesting and share a little something with you on a Friday morning. You'll also notice the difference of me speaking to you all late in the evening when I've been up and functional all day, and now the Tom Waits-esque dulcet tones that you get when I have first woken up in the morning. So fun for all involved parties. But this is a customer review left by Mr. David O'Leary, and I hope you enjoy. I got a few of these for you, so we'll keep it interesting. This book is the better-known effort by Captain Trimmer, who also wrote the earlier, similarly styled books How to Park Your Aircraft Carrier and Sticking Your Head in the Microwave, A Cautionary Tale. As I think we all know, huge ships are a huge problem, even in 2015, when this review was written. No matter what we seem to do, huge ships seem to end up everywhere they don't belong. Swimming pools, dance recitals, professional sporting events, bar mitzvahs, lurking in the shadows of your selfie with friends, etc. It's something the American public needs to take seriously and become better informed on. To this end, I bit the bullet and got this book. I have to say, as someone who lives in an area known for huge ships, I, nor anybody I know, has been struck or accosted by a ship since I picked up this book. I didn't realize how liberating it could be to no longer feel like I couldn't leave my home without a huge ship appearing seemingly out of nowhere, with no other purpose but to run me, my friends, and my family down. I still lock my doors at night, but the nightmares of a ship horn wailing far off in the distance, moving closer and closer, menacingly, have almost completely stopped. My wife is sharing a bed with me for the first time in decades. Captain Trimmer, you've saved my life, Skipper. It's a lot of fun. And now another one. This is from John Petty from 2017. A book of hate speech posing as advice. As a huge ship myself, I'm hurt and offended that the author of this disreputable tract would suggest that I be avoided. Life is difficult enough as a huge ship in a world of sailboats, but now to be vilified like this is more than anyone should have to bear. Although federal guidelines exist regarding accessibility requirements to accommodate huge ships, we need extra wide docking space in retail centers and restaurants, for instance. I can tell you that they are rarely followed, leading to pain, discomfort, and embarrassment when I attempt to go out in public. The plight of the huge ship in society is rarely discussed. It seems that people would rather ignore us. Hence, the title of this reprehensible book. Than to take the time to get to know us and appreciate our unique needs and common desires, leading to misunderstanding and resentment on both sides. Oh, yes, I hear you, you kayaks and catamarans, snickering behind my stern when I go by. Don't think I don't. I hear all the jokes. Wow, check out the wake on that one. Or, when you sit around the port, you really sit around the port. We don't want to be seen as different or ugly or nautically challenging. We just want to be recognized as contributing members of society, same as everyone else. So the next time you see a huge ship, please don't ignore it. Step up and say, "Hello, how are you?" You might just make a friend for life. Moving on to a post by The Bumble, which I was particularly tickled by. Grammatically, this one will give me a couple hurdles, I'm sure, if I recall, but we'll see. The post is entitled, "This book helps me find strength when I need it most." I don't know if it was the pressure of early adult life or the demands of college, but I began to experiment with huge ships in my late teens. I began by looking at huge ship magazines in the basement when my parents weren't around. Then one day, my mom came home early and unexpectedly caught me in the act. Both of my parents were furious. They asked me where I got the magazine from, and I said I found it, and that I thought it only contained articles on small watercraft. As a result, I started to sneak out at night, telling my parents that I was headed to a friend's house to watch Full House, but in reality, I was in the library, reading up on huge ships. As my career developed, I found an apartment that I could afford and moved out of my parents' house. My interest in huge ships only grew. My apartment became a center for trafficking huge ship paraphernalia, model huge ships, pictures of huge ships, life preservers, you name it. Eventually, some neighbors complained, and the owner of the apartment building had me evicted. By that time, I was so far gone that I didn't care, and I moved into a hostel. It was the perfect place to continue my pursuit of huge ships. The rent was cheap, drifters came and went, everyone minded their own business, and once in a while, a new person would come along with scale models of huge ships in Turkey. We had a lot of wild nights, and I was having troubles holding down my job. Eventually, I was fired. One day it dawned on me that if I don't get away from huge ships, I'll end up dead. By pure luck, I ran into a fellow who went through the same thing, and he recommended Trimmer's book. Between the book and my support groups, I made progress, and I got back on my feet again. Last night, I almost turned left out of the parking lot instead of turning right, as I've done routinely for the last 6 months. Turning left would have meant that I was heading to the port of Baltimore, where huge ships are present everywhere. Horns blowing, sailors lashing gear to the decks, merchants teasingly gesturing to the gangplanks as they ask passersby if they want to go for a voyage on a great big, huge ship. I started to imagine the wakes in the bay, the frolicking of tugs as they pull and push this huge ships in and out of the port. There was a burning desire inside of me. My mouth started to salivate, my hands were trembling, and my eyes darted left to right as they searched for an answer. I thought that maybe I could just go to the port and find one or two huge ships. That wouldn't be a big of a deal. Call it a voice in my head, an angel on my shoulder, or a trimmer's book in my glove box, but I turned right. I headed home instead. My support group had a meeting last night, and I told them about my near stumble. It felt good to tell everyone that I did not fall victim to weakness. I have my beloved support group and my dearest John W. Trimmer to thank for 6 months huge ship free. Heart stirring. This is I Can Read's post, which is really fantastic, indicating that this is bad advice. This is from December of 2014. I think this book misses the bigger issue. We shouldn't be just avoiding huge ships. We should be confronting them. If we spend our lives running away, the huge ships win. Salient point, salient point. And now from Noel D. Hill from 2011, a parent's review. As the father of 2 teenagers, I found this book invaluable. I'm sure other parents here can empathize when I say I shudder at the thought of the increasing presence of huge ships in the lives of my children. I certainly remember the strain I caused so long ago for my own parents when I began experimenting with huge ships. The long intercontinental voyages that kept my mom and dad up all night with worry. Don't even get me started on the international protocols when transporting perishable cargo. To think I was even younger than my kids are now. Huge ships are everywhere, and it doesn't help that the TV and movies make huge ships seem glamorous and cool. This book helped me really approach the subject of huge ships with my kids in an honest and non-judgmental way. Because of the insights this book provided, I can sleep a little better and cope with the reality that I can't always be there to protect my kids from huge ships, especially as they become adults. I'm confident that my teens, when confronted by a huge ship, are much better prepared to make wiser decisions than I did. At the very least, my children certainly know that they can always come to me if they have any concerns, questions, or just need my support when it comes to the topic of huge ships. And finally, a rousing bit of rollicking fun from Rachel Cassidy. It's from 2013, entitled, Baby Got Aft. I like big boats, and I cannot lie. Oh, my God, Becky. Look at her aft. It's so big. She looks like one of those rap guys' sailboats. But you know who understands those rap guys. They only sail on her because she looks like a total yacht, okay? I mean, her aft, it's just so big. I can't believe it's just so round. It's like out there. I mean, gross. Look, she's just so draft. I like big afts, and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny that when a ship sails in with an itty-bitty beam and a round thing up to steam, you get sprung. Want to pull out your tough stuff because you notice that aft was pumped. Made with quality of the sport, I'm hooked and babe can't stop off port. Oh, baby, I want to get with you and take your picture. My homeboys tried to warn me, but that aft you got makes me so corny. Ooh, boats, oh, smooth wood. You say you want to get in my fleet? Well, use me, 'cause you ain't that average groupie. I've seen them dance to hell with romance and she's sweat, wet, got it going like a turbo vet. I'm tired of magazines saying flat afts are the thing. Take the average sailing man and ask him that. She gotta pack much back. So fellas, has your sailboat got the aft? Tell him to sail it, sail that lofty wood. Baby got aft. And that, my fabulous friends and lovely listeners, is going to be today's wacky installment of Disinformed After Dark. I appreciate you all taking a moment. And remember, all of this talk of afts and shafts is going to come into play, pun intended, sometime very soon. And I hope that you all enjoy it. And as Michael is probably the only one watching this right now, I will thank you for paying attention, and I hope at least I got a giggle out of you in preparation for the longing and lustful tale of the high tides and shallow canals? For Disinformed After Dark this week, I'm Shane. I will see you all soon.